let's see, was it MCon did last game to go and place a ward at the Raptor camp and see where the enemy jungler starts. So maybe we can see that, and otherwise we'll just see a spread out level 1 as we always see basically. Really passive, just focus on the early game and don't do anything weird.
And as you mentioned as well, that first level warding could be something that swings this game out. Looking at the level 1s as well, we don't really have too much that could be of effect, but without actually setting the guys behind the lane.
We have the Thresh Hook, so that could work, because that's a spell you'd like to start with your E, of course, with your Flay, because it gives you extra outlet attack damage. But if you can't, your Hook is still fine. And Lux probably wants to start with his E, your Q, your Light Binding. It's not that bad, it's just not great either. It gives you more lane presence at first, because you can bind Draco and then hit him afterwards, but your E is a better start.
We did see Sigma starting with that W as well, so not opting to take the Cocoon and not really opting into level 1 just as yet. We do have Lenny, not currently leveled anything, but he's just going to be making sure that nobody's available. Something interesting is happening over by those Raptors, as Elise just pops a ward down over by Hades' red buff.
Yeah, and also interesting to see is what the difference between the bot lanes of Echo, Zulu and MoonZone is that MoonZone's bot lane is really going for the aggressive push early on, and they decide to stay in the bottom bush, whilst Echo Zulu is warding or is basically protecting their own blue buff, their own blue buff and their own jungle on that side, which means that they have to be really careful at this level 1.
He is coming out from I'm Heat as he's just managed to get quite a lot of damage down onto these minions to start everything off. No trades really coming through in the bot lane as both teams are just trying to rush towards that level 2. Last time round we did see the Karma use the Mantra Q to start things off on the caster wave.
Yeah, this time they don't even need it. He knows he doesn't need it. He can just use it for poke.
Oh, and he did. Oh, in the mid lane,
aggressive. It's really aggressive on my meat. He got the early pushing power and he places a ward on the Raptor camp to really continue to show where Hades is. I just don't think it was really necessary, because they saw where he started because they placed an early ward on the red buff. So as a Kha'Zix, maybe the only thing they want to be careful about is the level 3 gank, right? So if he skips the Raptors or skips the Wolves and then goes blue buff, but I don't know if the ward is that useful for that.
Renekton just zoning out Dino up in this top lane, managing to get a little bit of poke down, but the Grasp of the Undying is going to make that fairly even up there, at least for now. How does this lane really work in the later stages of the game?
First, I think we need to talk about this invade from the bot lane with Monk and Anthrax really going deep on this Kha'Zix.
Oh my goodness, yes, and that's going to be the shield going in, the speed up. Hades going to be taking the worst of it. That will be Blast Cone of Old Driver or Monk to get himself out. Ash going to be going in onto Anthrax here. That Karma's just managed to get out with no real extra damage taken.
Yeah, it was really aggressive. They had the early pushing power, they could invade, but it was a good roam from Rako going down, and with the help of Dommy, Hades can clear his jungle, get the blue buff, get the Gromp, and then he can just continue recalling, and then he needs even more help to clear the Gromp. That's really nice of Dommy to give him so much help.
Of course, down in this bot lane, it looked like Monk didn't really lose out on too much, as he's still got that CS lead and a wave coming into him. Dommy's going to try and find some damage in onto him, but oh, that's Monk just missing the... dodging out of the volley even, as he's just going to continue to farm up and keep extending that lead.
Yeah, and you see in the mid lane that Amit got quite a CS lead over Rako, and of course Rako lost a couple of CS.
Oh, this very aggressive in the bot lane as well. We've got the Cocoon, we've got the first blood. Beautiful play. We didn't even notice the Elise there.
That's directed camera for you. Always easy to blame Brian. Oh, it was a great play by Sigma, and this is what he loves to do. Just go via the bot lane, get the gank set up via the bush, and then hit the Cocoon and go for the kill. It was amazingly played. It was a really great play. Maybe he wants to target Dommy because it's the newest member of the team. Not that he's also not been a support main for that long, and it's a role he's played on and off over the last couple of years, but it's a great way to start off your game.
We did mention earlier, as trades in the top lane, not going to be any of any consequence at the second. We did mention earlier that Sigma is very well known for camping lanes, so this could happen once again. We have to think that Ashe, played by Goose, is going to know this and play a little bit more safely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is why they focus on Thresh, because Thresh has the Lantern, of course. So if they engage on Ashe, it's really hard to gank him because you can just Lantern out. And you see Sigma once again hovering around the bot side, trying to get an additional kill, trying to get the return gank.
And will he go in is the real question, as he's just going to back away for a little bit, get some more farm on and keep that lead going ahead for him. He's picked up the tracking blade, the tracker's knife as well, so we're going to be seeing a lot of vision coming out from him. Trades up in the top lane are currently quite even, but we do see Renekton pulling ahead with that CS lead. And once again, down to the bot lane is just taking a quick look at the action, keeping stock of everything. Still going to have the advantage for Lucian, who's already got the kill and the farm lead as well.
Yeah, you see T10 CS lead in the bot lane, in the mid lane, even in the top lane right now. And you can also see it in the gold. It's like 1000 gold ahead. It's not that much right now, and it's pretty equal. And especially with the Shen level 6 right now, you could see plays going to be made around the bot side. Especially with Ahri level 6, Shen level 6, there's a lot of pressure on the bot lane of the MoonZone.
And pressure's exactly what Monk and Anthrax are exerting down there. They've just chunked out the bot lane coming in from Echo Zulu. And they're just continuing. This push is unrelenting at the second.
Yeah, they use the dominant lane.
Hook does land, however, and that's going to be a Q going through. Goose going to be on the receiving end, forced to use that heal. Very good trade again.
Yeah, definitely. They used their lane dominance for the early game pressure. And you saw a couple of things going down on the red buff of Echo Zulu. They were scared that Lux and Elise were going to invade. They needn't have been, because Sigma just goes, give over the blue buff to Lux. It's great for Lux. You have that extra additional pushing power right now. But it might be interesting to see the blue buff spawn time. It's within 1 minute and the blue buff of Echo Zulu will spawn. And with the power of the bot lane of MoonZone, it might be something they want to contest.
We did see Ahri approaching for the roam down to bot lane, but it looks like the entirety of MoonZone knew that was happening. Pings came out, and we did also get to see them backing off. So Ahri just going to go back to the mid lane, make sure she picks up the rest of the farm, but Lux extending that CS lead even further.
It's always sad as a mid laner if you have to roam down, because you have to exert some pressure on the enemy bot lane just for your own bot lane to be able to push out the wave and recall. And it's interesting to see that Domi hasn't recalled, and he right now has 700 gold, so he can finish his sidestone and his boots. But because he stays right now, his own blue buff is really in jeopardy right now.
We do see the pings coming out, and it looks like Echo Zulu actually know that's going to happen. There's pings coming in from both sides. We've got the assist ping coming in on top. Lenny going to be getting his back time in, so he could also TP to this fight if one starts. But it looks like Hades is just going to be resorting to just backing off a little bit. But that's going to be the culling committed to this. Very all in on this steal so far. Monk just looking forward. Rako going in, and that is not going to be anything extra used, as that's I'm Heat caught out as Hades going to be going very low. That's going to be 2 kills traded very quickly and very evenly so far as well. Monk still coming in, trying to find everything onto Domi. Will he? Yes, he will. He does get the kill as he goes for 2, 0, and 1 on the board.
And they're still chasing Ashe. I don't think they will be in range. As of course Lucian can get a couple of auto attacks in, but Goose still has his flash. He should be able to make it out even without wasting his flash. This is the power of the bot lane of Echo Zulu, of the MoonZone, excuse me. And they push in. Sigma even missed his cocoon at first on Hades, and that seemed to indicate that they didn't go for the blue buff anymore. But Monk is such an aggressive player. He wants to go in. He knows he's strong right now. And Hades made a really intelligent play. He jumped over on the Lux, especially with the Shen shield he got, but it was just not enough. And they picked up 2 kills, Team MoonZone. Lost 1, but also got the Ocean Dragon.
Trading and making sure that they do actually get the objectives as well. Something that we really don't see from lower level teams, but these guys are managing to do it perfectly so far. Do have a 2k gold lead on board, as well as Lenny's just trading very aggressively with Dino up in the top lane. Cleaver is very close to completion.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was a... What the... Oh my, that was a beautiful pick following the stun.
Definitely, and that's the power of Lux. You saw Rako being a little bit slow on his glance. Like that half a second delay was just enough for IME to get the kill, and this is exactly why he picked this champion. You saw, for example, Frog on previous, like a couple of seasons ago, really favoring this champion because it has so much burst damage, and Rako didn't have his ultimate and was too slow on the cleanse, and then you just get bursted down.
The surprising thing as well was the cleanse being used as Lenny's being aggressed on very heavily up in top lane. He does have the ult available, but isn't forced to use it. We've got Monk and Anfrak still pushing in the bot lane, trying to get as much chip damage down onto the turrets as possible and try and look for the early advantage. That's going to be the turret dive coming through from Lenny, and Lenny is going to be forced to finally use that ultimate, trying to chase through as Dominus just going to wear out now. But Dino, brilliant play just to make sure he forces out an ult.
Yeah, definitely well played. And you see Sigma again hovering on the bot side. He's spotted out by wards right now, and they see also Rako coming in.
Looks like Sigma could get caught here, but who's going to really get caught? The hook does miss. Rako's now going to be jumped on by the Spider. This will be the arrow come through, but Goose is now completely left alone as Old Driver is going to be going in. He flashes over. He gets the kill in the turret dive. Very aggressive Lucian play.
That's well played. Like, he sees Domi trying to help out Rako in the mid lane, and oh man, Rako, he can't catch a break.
Oh my, 6 and 1 on the board. No stun even needed for that as the dive is coming in from Sigma. Domi is going to be taken down by Monk once again, who's 4-0 and 1 on the board. Trades aren't stopping there, however, as Lenny and Dino going at it once again. And that is first turret in the bot lane for Team MoonZone.
Yeah, that's something an inexperienced support sometimes does, as he stays too long on the turret without his AD carry. Domi shouldn't have been there anymore. He knew Sigma was around, and you can just dive 3v1. And especially with Monk, who's showing that if he sees an opening, he just goes for it. He doesn't wait. He just goes, and it's paying out big time.
And definitely the case. 7 and 1 now on the board. We do have the 5k gold advantage coming in for Team MoonZone. Now we spoke. Oh, again! Rako just is not cutting that break at all. Taking a look at
I'm
Hades
loving
in
this
the.
Lux. It's amazing. I'm so happy with I'm Heat.
That surprise pick is definitely coming in as well. We did note earlier on as well that Team Game Gear, which is the former name for Team MoonZone, managed to play second last time around. So these guys definitely know what they're doing together as a team.
Yeah, definitely. You see the normal switch up again. They pick up the bottom lane turret, and so they switch their bot lane to the turret. But Hades is looking around for a kill.
Oh, and again, we are going up to the top lane for more action. That's going to be the arrow to land. The stun is going to go through it, but that's Monk getting the first kill. He's going to force himself out of this fight as Hades goes down to Lenny, and this is 2-0 at the second. How will the response come through? Fight still going on in the mid lane, looking for this turret now, as that is going to go down, and we're going to still be pushing in 2 turrets to 0, 9 to 1 on the board, and it's not even 15 minutes.
Oh, Team MoonZone is showing how you need to finish a game. They are so smart. They know that Hades is going to try and gank top lane, and they just go put Sigma there, and he's flashing over the storm.
That's amazing. Very aggressive as that's IME coming in. He gets the stun, he gets the ult, and he gets the kill. 10 and 1 on the board now.
That's just a difference between Sigma and Imid. They both flash forward for the stun or the snare. Imid lands it, Sigma misses, but it doesn't even matter. They're too far ahead. And you see Monk 5-0 into I'm Heat with 3 kills, and they're just so far ahead right now. They're just going to push. They're going toward the complete topside jungle of Echo Zulu, and Echo Zulu will have to do a lot to come back into this game.
Of course, that Lux. Oh, and she steals the big raptor. When will it end? When will the Lux fall off? Probably never. The final spark has definitely shown that it's got an appropriate name this time around. Always very sad when you have to use that ultimate and it doesn't live up to the name. But the reset has been forced through now, as we're going to be seeing Echo Zulu just try and pick the pieces back up.
Echo Zulu, they try to make the play on top lane. And it's a smart thing to do, right? They are behind, so they have to force something. But I think they need to use Racco there as well, because you have the Ari. He's really strong, he's almost level 11. So he's on he's close to his power spike, finish his first item. So with the Ash Arrow and the Ari ultimate, they should be able to maybe get a pick somewhere. And they really need to do something, because if they just wait, it'll only get worse from here.
Definitely the case. We see the hook missing out from Domi. Final spark does miss this time around, so that's going to give the team of Echo Zulu a little bit of respite, but they are going straight for this Cloud Drake. They have their eyes set on that objective, and Lenny has his eyes set on the second tier turret in the bot lane.
Yeah, you see what Echo Zulu is doing now is trying to use that time they have to push out the mid lane turrets so they won't lose their own. About Lux, by the way. I was so sad that they changed the ultimate name from Finales Funkel. It's so much fun if you hear the English casters try to stumble over the words to cast it.
And I definitely would have been one of those stumblers. We've got the aggressive play in the bot lane. Lenny is going to be on the receiving end of some heat, but beautiful play to make sure he gets out of that.
And because they make the play in bot lane, what Team MoonZone is doing, they just push mid lane. They don't care that Echo Zulu is making plays around the bot side of the map. They just think they want to go top lane. And meanwhile, I'm Heat missing one of his first charms of the day.
Oh, and this is going to be Monk catching himself in a very precarious position. Does have the support of the team behind him, however, so he is not going to go down here. Racco was the one who was forced incredibly low, and that was one of the aggressors. I did just look over at chat, by the way, and this is fantastic. As soon as that hook and flay combo missed, about 3 people said in chat, easy Crepo.
Wow, oh, that is so mean for Crepo. He's a great Thresh player. Also some people saying Mad Life, but sadly we haven't seen any Mad Life. Maybe we will. Domi doesn't have his flash up, so not yet. Meanwhile, they just MoonZone just casually walking into the jungle. Ooh, there's a big Ari. Nice.
Is going to get hooked up there, getting the kill for Racco. Did notice that he's also finished off that Hextech Gunblade, so we do still have at least 1 item breakpoint on that mid laner, and that's not gonna be the steal from Lux.
No, and this is just a little bit too aggressive from Anthrax. Like, they're very far ahead, but they don't need to, and these recalls are really...
Monk is going to get jumped on here. He's going to get hooked. Hades is going to be the first man taken down, though, as Sigma gets that kill. Monk is... Oh, he's finally gone down. 5-1-3 on the board. Sigma now going to be next in the firing line as Ashe activates that Q and gets the kill. But Renekton has got a turret in the bot lane for himself and is now trading onto Dino, keeping this push going. That's going to be the miss, and that is going to be the flash. That's a beautiful play as I'm Heat is going to be on the receiving end of this here. Anthrax coming in, but that's going to be the Shen ultimate. Stand United going down onto Racco. I'm Heat is going to be taken out of this fight and completely annihilated there.
This was great play by Echo Zulu. This is what they have to do. They have to continue making these picks, but it's also a little bit Team MoonZone who's giving them the opportunity to go in. Those recalls. Why do you want to recall in the enemy jungle when you can just walk for 10 seconds more and have a safe recall, right? It's just not necessary. This is the way you give an opportunity to Echo Zulu to come into the game, and they bounce on it. And it's great for them that they get these opportunities, and they have to make more of these.
Definitely not going down without a fight, which is something that we do expect to see here. From the looks of it, it was going to be a very short game, but Echo Zulu are trying to make sure this one stays a little bit longer as they try and get this Rift Herald. It's only Gonna be going down very slowly here. Will they get it in time? And it looks like they'll just manage it as Lenny picks up that Eye of the Void buff. Hades going to have to use the Lantern to get himself out of the guns coming out of Monk. 5-1 and 3, that death may have probably set him back a little bit, but he's definitely still feeling powerful here.
It's interesting to see Lenny going to the top lane. I expect that this recall now is going to the bot lane and going there. And what I hope to see from Team MoonZone is that they are going to push out mid lane and then provide some vision control on the top side of the map. So they can set up the Baron control just like Sector 1 did last game. Get the wards in the enemy jungle, push out mid lane, push out bot lane. And in doing so, you can collapse on the mid lane turret.
Ooh, Hook just barely missing there as that's a great dodge coming out from Monk. Next stage of Engage, the Baron has been up and is ready and available now. Lenny going to be interrupting that recall of Dino, but probably not going to lead to anything else. We do also have 1 minute 25 seconds on the next Cloud Drake available as well.
Yeah, it's a Cloud Dragon. It's a little bit better. It's not that bad. It's just also not that spicy of a dragon, so you don't really need to go for it. And especially with the team comp buff and the lead Team MoonZone has, they don't have to go for the dragon. They should just go push the lanes, get some vision control. But they're trying to get a little bit of vision control around Baron, but it seems like they want to just start the Baron off. It's just really, really risky move right now.
The Baron is going to be started here, and it looks like they're going to be backing off of that very quickly. And now going to be setting up for the Brush Invasion. This is going to be the Karma using that Mantra Shield to get in. Domi first to be taken down by I'm Heat. The Charm is going to miss out as Monk's still going very aggressively forward, and this gets to speed up, and he's not going to be able to land any extra auto attacks to take that RE down. Going to be pushing into the mid lane now, as that's going to be Hades on the receiving end of some punishment coming through from the piercing lights. Oh, and again the turret dive comes in. Monk!
Wow.
I thought you were supposed to be peaceful if you're a monk.
No, he's definitely not a peaceful monk. He's like one of those warrior monks, right? Fighting all the way. And you don't even have to do Baron, you just have to start it and turn around. I'm not sure if it was really a Baron bait right here, but at least I turned it around and made a Baron bait. The interesting side note is that Goose had his trinket totem up, so he could have warded the Baron buff with his blue trinket. He decided not to, and Tommy and Hades paid the ultimate price for it.
The ultimate price, and they did manage to also get themselves another Cloud Drake as well. You said earlier, not a very spicy dragon, but the next one, probably one step up on the spice tier list, is the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, I don't think they need it. They have all the burst damage they need. They can just do whatever they want right now. And I really hope that they go back to the Baron again. Push the mid lane up and get the wards down, because they're just so strong right now. The shields of Lux are just so big. If we look at the numbers, right now it's only 100 shield, so she didn't level it. So sadly no shields, but a lot of damage.
And final spark.
A red blood seal.
Beautiful play once again, making sure that final spark is being used as versatile as possible. Going to be starting this Drake, and it doesn't look like Echo Zulu are actually going to be coming over to contest this very quickly, making a very late rotation over, as that's going to be the that's going to be the Redemption coming down next. We've got the directed camera messing up slightly for me here as the fight's going to start off once again. Lucian forced to get himself out of dodge as that charm was just about to hit, but that is a Baron secure coming out from MoonZone. The spiciest of objectives, you could say.
Definitely the spiciest ones. And it's just really sad from Echo Zulu that they didn't manage to go there. They have Ash Arrow, Hulk shot. They have a blue trinket totem. Why do they not contest Baron? Like, right now, Lenny is just taking the top lane turret, doesn't care. Mid lane
and mid lane fight starts off straight away. Hades is going to get the first of this, but Lux gets one in return. This is going to be Monk going very ham. Jumps into the backline, tries to find Hades, who tries to dodge it back out, but that's going to be Monk getting another kill in the 3-for-1 overall.
Yeah, definitely great fight. It is something Echo Zulu, you saw them looking for the fight with the Ash Arrow before as well. And they have to do it because they just can't stand up against a split push and a 15k gold lead Team MoonZone has. But yeah, as 15,000 gold lead. I think that says enough. It's just too much at this point.
They have increased their gold lead by 1,000 per minute. I was looking at it at 20 minutes and we were at 10k, and now we're at that 15k mark. Perfect. And also nice little gains coming out from these guys as they're starting to back themselves out. Echo Zulu do have a little chance here to just try and recover the tatters of their base at the second.
Yeah, they have to, and they have to hope that Team MoonZone is going to make a mistake, going to overextend. It's something they did before, and they still have a lot of pick potential with this Thresh Hook, with the Ash Arrow, with the Charm maybe. So there is still some small opportunity for Echo Zulu, and they should definitely fight for it. And I hope the pause is not because they've given up. Probably not.
Well, Fresh is saying lag on mid, and that looks like Rako is going to be lagging out at the second. Probably going to be seeing him disconnect and reconnect again very shortly. And I'm hoping the lag hasn't been there all game. I'm hoping there's no excuse at the very least.
It would explain why he was a little bit slow on the cleanses from time to time. So it might have been, but probably not, because then he would have paused earlier. And right now, what you probably will see is that even they just group up as 5 players, this Team MoonZone, and they just want to steamroll over Echo Zulu at this point. It's something they've set up all game with really, really aggressive play. And I really like it from Team MoonZone is with the addition of Monk to their team, they become a really, really aggressive team. And I think it's something that complements Sigma's playstyle really well, because he's a really aggressive early game jungler, right? He wants to gank those lanes early on. And it's something he can do right now because he has a really aggressive mid laner.
We do also have Sigma taking that very aggressive build. We can see on the board there that he's already got himself a Haunting, guys, and a Blasting one, so he's probably going to be upgrading that very soon into the Leandries. A very cost-effective item that just adds so much damage to the kit as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you see the standard Lucian build again, the Blade Ruin King into Black Cleaver into Phantom Lens, the same as Konyo did last game. And the game is getting unpaused. And if you look at the difference between items against Ashe against Lucian, there's 2 items missing for Ashe. Literally 2 items missing.
Incredible across the board. Definitely has to be said here. Taking a look at what's going on now, though, we've got the entirety of MoonZone just pushing into this topside jungle. Of course, there's no Baron there at the second, but they've got their eyes set on this final top turret, and that's going to be the final spot going through. Get some damage down onto people, but Lenny jumping into the backline. He's got his flank on, but he doesn't manage to find anything, as the rest of MoonZone just going to head to top and push one more wave in and look for this final turret and final inhibitor with the Baron buff still on.
There was opportunity for Echo Zulu to make the pick, but they got collapsed on and they couldn't make their own pick. So now is their final fight, and they're going to try and go in.
And there's one more pick coming out as the stun does land. Lenny has started this fight off well, but that's going to be Ari trading one back straight away. Fight underneath the turret. Now that's a huge amount of damage coming in from the Lucian as the turret is going to go down. Inhibitors next in their sight, but Lenny's got the people in his sight as he's jumping forward, trying to find anything he can. I'm Heat takes down Goose!
One shot.
That's
literal one shot. If you find that's 100 to 0 in like half a second with that burst damage. Oh, that's a great finish. I love this Lux. It's amazing.
Goodness. A huge amount of damage coming in from I'm Heat to finish that game off. I'm going to be looking straight at the graphs once again.
Oh, look at the difference. You can see the carries. Monk and iMeet have done so much stuff in 16,000 and 19,000 respectively. And that in 26-minute game, so much damage.
Exactly. And when it comes to it as well, we do see in the top lane tons of damage coming out of absolutely everyone. Across the board, everyone doing more than their counterparts over on Echo Zulu. But that's going to be our game finished there, and we will be coming back for our final game shortly. But before we do head over to that break, is there anyone from that team comp there who really stood out to you, Frank?
I want to say Amit because he played Lux, and then you're automatically the MVP, right?
But of course, yeah.
Monk really played such a instrumental part of this victory. He saw it from the start, pushing in the bot lane with Anthrax, going for the really early contest on Hades on the blue buff, and just going for the 1v1 fights against Goose, killing him over and over again, and playing so aggressively. He did so much damage. It was such a pleasure to watch him. So he's my MVP today.
I can hardly disagree with you on that one. Both carries doing a lot of damage, and hopefully we'll be seeing lots of carries coming out of our final game for this evening as well. But we're going to be heading to a very, very quick break. But when we do come back, we'll be seeing Doran's Alpha take on Asterion Esports, and we'll be back with you guys very shortly. Don't go anywhere.